Dragonslayers, Rescue Mission, Squad Sparkle on the Move. Search Day 12. The members of Sparkle Wing 1, 3 and 6 stood hidden between the ruins of Ponyville. They had snuck in shortly after midnight. The sun had yet to rise, but that suited the 15 Pegasi just fine. Another group of 6 ponies was approaching their destination from the other side of the building. These were the pilots of Sparkle 1, 3, 4 and 5. The rest of their forces had stayed at the cave to protect their injured comrades and their gear. Sergeant Dazzlewing, commanding officer of Sparkle Wing 1, was in command of the Pegasi for this operation. Her white coat had been darkened with ash from a campfire, as had her multicolored wings. She stood at the second-floor window of a ruined building on the north side of the Ponyville Library. The others were scattered throughout the other buildings that surrounded the magical tree. They had already intercepted several griffins that had been sent out to investigate the whereabouts of their slayers. Their disposal had been silent and quick, and Dazzlewing could see the guards in front of the library were becoming nervous. They would have to strike soon. A few minutes later, Dazzlewing's radio crackled to life in her ear.
Frostmane to Dazzlewing, we are in position.
What's your status? Frostmane's voice sounded in her ear. We are ready to attack on your mark, ma'am. The griffins seem to have noticed something is up. I guess they have noticed that their scouts haven't reported in yet. Dazzle whispered into the microphone on her collar, while the head of one of the guards was dead center in her crosshair. Their objective was simple: take any officer they encountered prisoner and kill the rest. Their secondary objective was to find out how they had bypassed this facility's security.
Mark,
Frostmane ordered, and Dazzlewing bit down hard on her rifle's handle as she pulled the trigger. The head of her target exploded in a red mist that splattered his brain on the wall behind him. A second report, this one from another of her subordinates, took care of the second guard. The 2 shots were like a starting signal, to which the other 13 Pegasi lifted off and flew towards the library. They smashed windows and doors to the balconies to gain access to the upper stories of the building. Dazzlewing and another mare stayed behind in the ruins to pluck any griffins that decided to interfere with the fight out of the sky. Frostmane charged through the front door of the library, her fellow pilots following in behind her. Levitating a pistol to her side, she dove behind a fallen bookshelf for cover. The rain of bullets she had anticipated never came. Her eyes switched to thermovision, something she had finally figured out, and scanned the building. To her surprise, there were no heat signatures on this floor. Even on the upper floors she only detected 2, most likely freshly slain, griffins. Could it really be that these few were the only ones? Then she turned her gaze to the floor and saw several griffins disappear. They didn't hide behind anything, they just disappeared. Frostmane gestured for Seacloud and Sugarcoat to open the door to the basement. The ceiling in the stairwell had partially collapsed, but the griffins had cleared the rubble away nicely. As the pale blue mare descended the stairs, she saw that her comrades were staring at something. When she reached the basement floor, Frostmane joined in on the staring. In the middle of the room, chained to the floor with anti-magic chains, her wings broken and twisted, while a disruptor gem was tied to her horn, lay Princess Luna. Frostmane could not believe her eyes. One of the princesses, chained down and clearly tortured, like a dangerous beast. Her eyes darted between them, her gaze half crazed. It looked more like fear than relief to Frostmane. It reminded her of the looks the dragons had once thrown her way. A promise that, if one got too close, that pony would be either eaten or crushed. Chained as she was, however, such a threat was more than laughable. Frostmane had read Princess Twilight's journal and knew about the condition of the Princess of the Night. Inwardly she cursed at Rainbow Dash. Right now she would have given just about anything to have one of the elements of harmony with her. They could have restored the princess to her former self. As it was, however, she had only one option. Sea Cloud tried to stop her as she approached the undead Alicorn princess, but Frostmane just shrugged his hoofs off. The princess looked dumbfounded when the pale blue mare stopped just outside of snapping distance and fell to one knee, bowing her head. "Your Highness, you are hurt and probably scared half out of your skin, but I assure you that we are real. I know of your condition and your orders for a case like this. This is why you have my sincerest apologies for what I am about to do." Frostmane said respectfully as her horn glowed and a big piece of rubble flew out of the corner of the room, hitting the distracted Alicorn straight in the face before she could respond anything. A second hit to the side of her head knocked the Princess of the Night out, her head falling to the floor. Just before her snout hit it, however, Frostmane caught her head in her hoofs, stroking her mane as if she was holding a foal instead of an undead creature that could rip all of them apart. Red Eye stepped forward, putting a hoof on her daughter's shoulder. "Come on, Frosty, let us get this attack over with. After that, we can try to do something for your godmother." Okay, every pony, what I'd like to know from all of you here is what do you think about Frostmane's battle tactics? 15 Pegasi hidden in the ruins of Ponyville. 2 of them snipers. And, well, when the attack starts, 13 of these Pegasi, the 2 snipers stay behind, 13 of these Pegasi attacks the upper floors of the library. While simultaneously, Frostmane and her fellow pilots storm the front door, attacking the ground floor. What do you think about this tactic? I mean, basically, they are hitting all of the stories of the building at once. So there wouldn't be any, in my book at least, there wouldn't be any possible means for any organized defense. Because if you hit every room in the building at once, then no one can barricade themselves somewhere. That's at least my estimation of this. Next would be, what do you think about Princess Luna being captured? And how the hell did the Griffins capture her? That would be a very nice thing to know, don't you think? Okay, sincerely yours, Visual Pony.